Guys, how you doing today? Seike Igbiriki, Nigeria's #1 realtor. We're doing part 2 of this video. When a property is cheap, watch out for these. I talked about 3 in my first video. I hope you watched it. So in this second video, part 2 and final video of it, we'll be talking about 4 more to make it 7. So it's not bad if your property is cheap, but you need to watch out for these if you are to invest in it. Number 4, watch out for that property. It might have some structural defects. There might be some structural defects, especially if it's a house. Watch out for it. What kind of foundation was used on the house? What kind of foundation they built the house on? The kind of iron rod that was used. What kind of iron rod was the the side dimension of the iron rod. Check out maybe the plumbing works. It could be the kind of roofing sheet that was used. It could be maybe is the house in an area that is prone to flooding. You might say, oh, I saw so and so house, maybe 45 million naira in Lekki phase 1, and then I'm seeing another one again, of 60 million naira. Why is your own different? It might just be that place that is cheaper might be in an area that is prone to flooding. So if you just jump on it because it's cheap, then you might not like it at the end of the day. So watch out for structural defects. It could be that the house is even almost collapsing, and that's why they're selling it at a cheap price. So watch out for structural defects. Structural defects could be the reason why a property is cheap. And if you buy at that price, come on, if you buy such properties for that reason, you might not get to enjoy it. That's number 4. Number 5, it could be a scam. If the property is cheap, it might not just be cheap for nothing. It's cheap for a reason. It might be cheap because it is a scam. It might not be. And if it's a scam, in many cases, the price is not always high because they want to sell it as fast as possible. And they want to outsmart you. So don't just rush because it is cheap. You might end up buying a property that is maybe owned by somebody that is not even the one who's selling it to you. By somebody who does not even have any business with the property. Might get scammed. So cheap properties, can be a scam sometimes. Then number 6, it could be hard or impossible to sell. If it's a scam, it's impossible to sell. You can't even resell it. You can't even resell it. It's impossible to resell it. Then if it's something that is having structural defects, it might be very, very hard for you to resell. Or something that maybe is having no title, or a property that is just, not it at all. You'll find it very, very hard to get buyers because the property is not having a good value, whether it's a land or it's a house. The location is poor, is in a place where it's disadvantaged, but it's cheap. You'll find it very, very hard to get a good buyer. Not just a buyer, a good buyer. So cheap properties might be hard or impossible to sell. You should be in the market for long and then nobody will buy it because it has a lot of issues that you didn't see before buying. That's number 6. And then finally, wait for it. Woo! Number 7, it could be a gold mine. It could be a gold mine. Cheap properties might be a gold mine. Might be that property that will just change your life. Will change everything about your trajectory. Change everything about your generation. That is if you go get a good property. After maybe you do your due diligence, you discover that maybe it's a distress sale and it's a good property. The person wants to just let go of the property. Maybe he has one pressing need to solve as soon as possible, and then he finds you and you have the money. You can get the money, you can get the funds. Then it could be a good mine. Maybe a property of 40 million, 50 million. At the end of the day, the person sells for 20 million naira. So you are making 20 million naira profit immediately, even without getting to do anything special. You just jump in on the offer. So if you get such cheap properties, then it might be a gold mine. That's why it's good when you have. In fact, there are some people who specialize in distress sales. They know how to do it. I have a client like that. The one time he told me, he said, look for something that do you have a distress sale property, in Lekki? And then I told him I wasn't having, because it's actually not easy to get such. So, but at the end of the day, I discovered that he got it, and he got it right. He's always getting it right, at least for the period of time I've known him. So if you are going for a cheap property, make sure you do your due diligence, and then after doing your due diligence, you discover that yes, it has checked all the boxes, for a good property. Then come on, then you have discovered a gold mine. So a cheap property might not be bad. At the end of the day, it might be a buying. So that's number 7. I hope you've learned something today. That's it for cheap properties. You want to invest in cheap properties, you need to watch out for these. So thank you very much. And if you've got questions, if you've got comments, whatever it is you've got, I would like to know. Have a great day. Boom.